It's time for the Doug Garrison Show. This week we visit with a new friend, Ron Hill from the UP chapter of the Finnish American Society. Rick Aho is here from the Mqt County Solid Waste Management Authority. And Jerry Mills, singer-songwriter, visits with some songs of inspiration. And of course I'm here, so stick around. The Doug Garrison Show starts now.
Tell the host 2 minutes. Stand by live to tape. Lighting to show level, please. Confirm front of house sound, PFL. Roll tape on masters to all the places. Alright, let's clear the set. Cue John music, open stage mics, standby effects, standby CG. Standby to open on 3, 2. Alright folks, let's have a good show. Stand by, roll it in.
All right, thanks for joining us this week on the Doug Garrison Show. I want to welcome you watching at home on Charter Channel 12 and Fox UP, and of course, those who are viewing on Charter On Demand and on our website at thedougarrisonshow.com. Well, we're well into the holiday season now, and I want to tell you, my Christmas shopping is done. Yeah, it's great. I was over at the Peninsula Medical Center the other day. The guys were there from the Ishmael Pioneer Kiwanis Club selling some sweets and some nice pastries for the holidays. I bought everybody on my list one of the fruit cakes that they were selling there. It's for a good cause. It's $5. The money goes to the Ishmael Pioneer Kiwanis for their good works over in the West End. And everybody on my list is going to get fruit cake. You know, it's one of the most misunderstood of the holiday pastries. I'm a fan of it. I love it. It's fruit, nuts, and cake. It couldn't get any better than that. So I'm going to try to turn the tables on some of these people on my list. If they don't like it, I'm going to encourage them to try it. And I think they will enjoy their fruitcake this holiday season. Okay, we got a good show coming up. We're going to talk about a holiday event up at the Ishmael Elks. We're going to talk about solid waste. And we've got one of our favorite singer-songwriters, Jerry Mills. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Riverside of Marquette wants you back to school, back in the woods, or back home for the weekend in a new pre-owned car or truck. And to do it, we're going to give you a $500 Visa gift card. Their lot is busting with late model local trade-ins, many with over 30 MPGs, payments as low as $89 a month, financing from 1.9%. With well over 600 to choose from, why would you go anywhere else? Riverside Auto Mall of Marquette.
I'm one. She's not alone. I'm one too.
1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime.
For those of us with breast cancer, there is hope.
With early detection, 99% of women can be cured.
At Bell Hospital, your mammogram is reviewed while you're on site, and follow-up testing can be done the same day.
With the latest in breast cancer detection, Bell Hospital is the right choice for the mammogram that matters most.
Yours.
All right, with me, our first guest tonight is Ron Hill, president of the UP chapter of the Finnish American Society. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had anybody on really representing local people of Finnish heritage. We have done some things with the Scandinavian Fest, but you're our first guest representing our local Finnish culture. Let's talk about that a little bit. We have an event we want to talk about, but let's talk a little bit about Finnish culture. Obviously, we know that that's kind of the predominant ethnic group in our area, the Finnish people. Mm-hmm. You tell me you're 100% Finn.
Correct.
Well,
yes.
Congratulations with that. Where's your family come from in Finland?
My father came from, I forget what town, probably somewhere around Kurikka. Uh-huh. And of course, my mother was born in this country. Okay. But I have relatives all over the northeast side of Finland.
Yeah. Have you been able to get over there and visit the country?
Yes, my wife and I were there in 2005. Yeah. Unfortunately, not long enough.
Yeah, sure.
We met an awful lot of relatives, but there are many, many more to see.
Obviously, as people get older and become more Americanized, we lose a little bit of the language and some of the culture. Do many people still speak Finnish in our area?
Not so much in this area. Well, I shouldn't really say that because a lot of them still do. But as the generations have come along, the language has sort of disappeared. But we do have some people teaching language, and it helps to maintain the language somewhat.
Sure. And we have, as you and I discussed, Finland Calling, Carl Pellenpaa's show, which has been on the air for many years, and that helps keep the language alive.
Yes,
we always hate to see those things kind of die off, but as time goes on, we know that happens. Regardless of whether or not people still speak the language, do people still try to keep the Finnish traditions alive?
Yes, and that's one of the jobs of our Finnish society is we try to maintain some of these older traditions from in our history.
Yeah, and I would think that's like you said, that's one of the purposes of your society. Tell me about that group itself, about how many people belong to your chapter.
Right now we have about 100 people that are members of our chapter.
Really? Great.
There are many, many more out there that I wish would join and offer us their thoughts and ideas as to projects and programs that we could do.
Sure. Now, if someone wants to join, do they have to be of Finnish heritage to join, or just be interested in what you're doing?
All they have to do is be interested in what we're doing.
Yeah, and if they want to join, they should give you a call.
Sure.
We're going to give them your phone number. It's 226-7085. Call Ron and say, I'm interested in this, and I'd like to join your group and participate in your activities.
Yes, and we'll definitely get them the information and get them signed up.
Okay, now you do have an event coming up. Obviously, we celebrate Christmas in Finland, just like we do here in America, and this is called, it's called Little Christmas, but the Finnish phrase is
Pikkujoulu.
Okay, Pikkujoulu. All right, it's Little Christmas. It's Sunday the 16th at the Ishpeming Elks from 2 to 5, and this is just a Christmas party.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Back in the 1800s in Finland, the Advent season was a season to celebrate. And as this progressed in about the 1920s, the students really took hold of this and started having a lot of parties and really making it a party event. And this has evolved now into just about every business, school, and so on. They have a party celebrating the beginning of the Christmas celebration. And that's what Pikkujoulu is the start of the celebrations.
Well, it's December 16th. You know, in America now, we start our celebrations for Christmas back by Halloween now. I like your traditions a little bit better. Are there other similarities between American Christmas and Finnish Christmas? Are the trees and decorated and the gifts, all that?
Those are all basically the same. But one of the things they do in Finland is the families will go out and light candles and place candles on the graves of their ancestors. And that's the tradition that has never really taken hold here in the United States, although some places do observe that tradition also.
Yeah, that's a nice tradition.
Yes, it is.
Now, on the 16th at the Elks, you're just going to have fun, and everybody's invited. Anybody who wants to come.
Anybody that wants to come, yes. We're going to have, basically dancing. We're going to have a short meeting, but it'll be a lot of dancing and coffee and goodies, the pullaa and the juustoa and all the good Finnish stuff, plus a few other things.
Yeah, what's the juustoa? What's that now?
That's a Finnish cheese.
Okay. That's, I know Carl Pellenpaa, when I was at TV6, used to bring these snacks in occasionally, so we got some experience with that. Is Carl going to be at the little Christmas party?
I'm not sure. I haven't had the opportunity to ask him yet.
Okay.
Hopefully he will.
We'll check with Carl and make sure he's there. Well, Ron, thanks for joining me today. This is a cool society you got going here. Like I say, if you're interested in joining this and just learning more about Finnish American culture or participating in their events, you do things year-round?
Year-round, yes.
There you go. And it looks like they like to have fun, so that's a part of what you're doing.
Right.
Okay.
Fun and education.
Fun and education. Sounds good. Okay. Ron Hill from the UP chapter of the League of Finnish American Societies. Thanks for joining us, and have a good time at your Little Christmas.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around. Next, we're going to talk about solid waste. How about that? We go to Finnish American culture to solid waste. That's how it works. Ron, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.
We need to clear out our new 2012 vehicles.
It's Chrysler's Big Finish event with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles at dealer invoice, and Jeep Liberty and Jeep Compass with an additional $300 Fox discount.
Take deep discounts on this 2012 Jeep Liberty Sport 4-wheel drive. Fox price $24,135.
A 2012 Ram Bighorn Quad Cab only $28,668.
Get the year's best deals at the Big Finish event at Fox Nagani. Mqt County's hometown dealer, only the best.
The Doug Garrison Show is brought to you in part by Iron Bay Computer and Design. Iron Bay gives you the quality and service you demand. And by Reflections Hair Salon, featuring professional stylists, a family-friendly atmosphere, prices to suit your budget, and great holiday styles. For an appointment, call Reflections at 226-0175. All right, our next guest is here to talk about a topic for all seasons. With me is Rick Aho, the Executive Director of the Mqt County Solid Waste Management Authority. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Rick Aho, are you Finnish?
Very.
There you go. Well, you've got a Christmas party you can go to at the Elks Club and celebrate with your Finnish brethren. That would be a good time.
I was taking notes.
Real good. Do you still celebrate much of the Finnish traditions?
A little bit, not as much since
Speak the language?
Nah, just a few words.
Yeah, Ron said it's a difficult language to learn. Okay, I asked you here because you're hosting some public forums around the community to talk about things going on with your authority, and you indicate you're going through some changes, instituting some new programs. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Well, the Solid Waste Authority, the landfill, is our main interest. We also run the Household Hazardous Waste Program, but it's doing quite well. The site has about 100 years of life in it, approximately.
That was going to be one of my questions.
It's hard to estimate that far out, but we're also working with a recycling program. We've been asked by the municipalities, some of the municipalities, to develop a recycling program that fits all 22 entities and is cost effective, and we're doing a lot of work in that area, made a lot of progress.
Yeah. I'm only familiar with Marquette's program, but it seems like we were kind of in the early stages of recycling. We were one of the first communities, I think, weren't we? Or
yes.
I felt like we were. We were kind of ahead of the curve there.
Oh yeah, way ahead of the curve. And what we can do as a solid waste authority is bring recycling to other municipalities that can't do it without us.
Within Mqt County specifically.
Exactly. We only work in Mqt County.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I put my garbage out on Monday nights. I wake up in the morning, it's gone. I don't know where that green bag of stuff goes. Does that go to the landfill?
That goes to the landfill.
Okay. Now the recycled things I put out, and I'm pretty good about separating them. I see other people aren't. They kind of put them all in one pile, but I separate my glass and my metal and my paper. Does that go to your facility or go somewhere else?
No, that goes to Wisconsin. If you're in the city of Marquette, Waste Management collects the material and they bring it down to a suburb of Milwaukee, I believe. I'm not, they may change that around. They have a lot of different facilities.
Sure. Now, am I doing a good thing there? Is that a profitable venture? Am I saving space in the landfill? Is that the main idea? And is somebody making money off my recyclables?
Yes. Anything that's recyclable implies that it could be sold.
Right.
So what the Solid Waste Authority is doing is basically in competition with Waste Management. We're looking at increasing the amount of material recycled and also returning the revenue back to the municipalities. We're owned by the 22 municipalities. We're not going to make a profit. Yeah. So what we do is we work with a 60-40 split of the proceeds, so that we turn 60% of it back to the municipalities, so they can do with it what they want.
Yeah, good.
But we also, because of changes within the state of Michigan, the new regulations, we're allowed to recycle organics, and we do that at no charge. So 60% of what you put out at the end of the curb is organic, 30% is recyclable, 10% are the foams, the films, the things that aren't recyclable that have to go to the landfill. But with our program, if it's utilized to its fullest extent, you can recycle 90% of what you produce.
So there's so many things that I'm putting in that green bag probably that could be recycled if I just knew a little bit more about it and was more attentive. Yeah.
Well, and you're in the city of Marquette. The contract for the city of Marquette is up the end of next June. So what the program will be at that point is up in the air.
It could change. Okay.
Yeah, and we're a new player in the program.
Well, good. Well, I'm all for that. I'm kind of interested in garbage. I became interested, and it must have been 20 years ago. I was driving back from downstate. I had a bag of my McDonald's waste, and I stopped at a gas station, and I wanted to throw it away at the gas station. I couldn't find the garbage, and I asked the guy inside. I said, "Where can I throw that?" He said, "I don't have a place for you to throw that." And I thought, at that time, I said, you know what, garbage, there's issues with garbage. When this guy won't take it, there's going to be some issues with that, and we're finally dealing with those things because, we create so much garbage, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I think about just what we put out on the curb at my house, multiply that by every household in Marquette and Marquette County, and we're creating quite a bit of stuff. But you say we got a lot of life left in our landfill.
Oh yeah, well, we only take material from Marquette County, and the site's fairly large.
It's
210 acres, so
yeah. I took some shingles out there a few years ago. Now you tell me they can be recycled.
Yeah, what we do is divert the recycled or the shingles. So as long as they're clean, as long as it's just shingles, then they're taken to paint and dough, and they make asphalt out of it.
Great. You probably don't pick those shingles up. I couldn't have called somebody who had them picked up. That would have helped out a lot.
Well, different vendors will do that for
I'm sure
you,
they will.
but,
I did it myself.
Not if you're doing it by yourself. Now you can recycle your shingles if you want to move them.
I mentioned that you had this public forum to talk about some of these issues. You've got another one coming up December 11th. It's at the Peter White Library, 7 o'clock, sponsored by Marquette Cares. Encourage people to come and ask questions that they're concerned about.
Certainly, we had a lot of individuals from the city of Marquette, but also the other townships, because the program that we offer is considerably more extensive than the others that are available.
Yeah.
So,
well, I encourage, if you're interested in garbage like I am, it's maybe not a sexy subject, but it's part of our lives, and we need to deal with it. Rick, thanks for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas, and we hope that you are successful with your recycling efforts, certainly down the road. All right, thanks for joining us. Stick around, we come back. Jerry Mills, you won't want to miss Jerry.
Are you ready to make some music? Well, Jim's Music and Teaching Center is where it all starts. A great selection of instruments and the area's best music teachers make Jim's Music your one-stop music shop. Jim's Music has name-brand instruments, new and used. Plus, they rent and repair, and they have everything you need for school band and orchestra. Jim's Music, locally owned and operated for more than 25 years, and now in 4 locations. Jim's Music and Teaching Center, where music makes you smarter.
The Doug Garrison Show is brought to you in part by Marquette Golf Club. The Pro Shop's open daily, Monday through Saturday, with great gift ideas and discounted memberships for 2013. Shop for Christmas at Marquette Golf Club. And by Cliffs Natural Resources, a global mining leader with local investment and impact. Cliffs Natural Resources. And by Swick Home Services, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, home generators, water treatment, sewer and drain cleaning. Those Swick guys do everything. All right. I did want to mention an event coming up this weekend. It's called John Lennon Night. It's at the Ordock Brewing Company. It's happening on the anniversary of his assassination, unfortunately, but it's a tribute to his songs and his music. A lot of local artists performing. Jeff Krebs, the Bowers Boys, Mike and Eric Waite. The Plastic Uber Band with Mark Hamry, Dave Stensis, who's the organizer of this event, Greg Sandell, Brian Geschel, and Jason McCarty. My friend John Mallow's going to be there. Green Jean, Andy Langlois. A lot of local artists going to be performing in this. It's from 7 to 11 at the Ordock Brewing Company. It's a $5 donation. The money's being contributed to UNICEF. And the connection there is that John Lennon was a supporter of UNICEF. So if you're looking for a great night out to hear some cool music that you were probably familiar with back in your youth, performed by some great local artists, check out John Lennon Night at the Ordock this Saturday from 7 to 11. And speaking of John Lennon Night, our musical guest this week, Jerry Mills, and thanks for coming back, Jerry. There's a little bit of a connection there with you and John Lennon. You were in Great Britain this summer. Tell us about the connection.
I was, actually in London recently speaking, and I was on my way to Liverpool, and I mentioned in my program that I was looking forward to visiting the Cavern Club and possibly playing a song there. There was a woman in the audience who...
Well, explain the Cavern Club to us.
Well, the Cavern Club is where the Beatles started. It was their
in Liverpool.
home court.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And there was a woman in the audience who came up and asked me if I was serious about playing there. And I said, of course, who wouldn't want to play there? And she started making some phone calls, and the next thing I know, she said, how about Monday at 9 o'clock? And she got me booked into the Cavern Club to play 4 songs, and then I got to do an encore of Imagine with the host artist.
Yeah, well, what was the Cavern Club like?
It was the thrill of my life. Next to the birth of my son, it was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, well, I'm sure now it's a club that's obviously been around a while. Did it have a lot of Liverpool flavor to it?
Oh, sure, yeah. And I have a lot of fans and friends in Liverpool, and they all came out for it, and there were people who came up from London, so it was a magical moment.
Yeah. Now, when you were on before, you do some things, you do some motivational speaking. A lot of your music is motivational music, and we're going to hear a couple songs tonight. What drives you to do that style of music?
It's just what I've done. I've been writing for 30 years, and it seems like most of the things I write come out of my experience. An example is this first song from this evening of Believe. I was invited to go down to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, which was ground zero for Hurricane Katrina. And I wrote a song that was for the victims of that hurricane. And because of Hurricane Sandy recently, that song was featured in a story in the Mining Journal. And that's why I chose to play that song tonight. And it's actually one of the songs I played at the Cavern Club that evening.
Well, great. Well, okay, we're going to hear a song that Jerry played at the Cavern Club. We're going to hear this when we come back right after this. It's Jerry Mills and Believe. Stick around.
Guess what? You can get any new or used car financed in the Marquette Community Federal Credit Union for 3.9% APR, new or used. Got your eye on this new Escalade? 3.9%. How about this 75 Gremlin? 3.9%. Looking at this stylish Dodge Dart? 3.9%. How about a new Chevy Cruze? 3.9%. RV, boat, tractor? 3.9%. What about this DeLorean time machine? 3.9%. 3.9% auto loans, new and used at the Marquette Community Federal Credit Union. Stop in and apply today.
No one ever told you life was easy, but no one ever said it would be this hard. Getting hit by the power of a hurricane certainly caught everyone off guard. Total devastation, everything destroyed, everything but you. So let's see this thing through. Tell me what you're gonna do now. Believe. Believe. You were never warned of life's uncertainty, never knowing what the future holds. Do you pick up the pieces and start again? Or do you let the troubles knock you out cold? A terrible disaster, everything's in ruins, everything but you. So let's see this thing through. Tell me what you're gonna do now. Believe. Absolute catastrophe, everything's come undone, everything but you. So let's see this thing through. Tell me what you're gonna do now. Believe. Tell me what you're gonna do Believe,
City Insurance has you covered. Located on Washington Street, Marquette.
There are many reasons for pre-planning funerals. Peace of mind, sparing family difficult decisions, paying for tomorrow's services at today's prices. But none is more important than making someone's loss a little less empty. Contact Canale Tonella Funeral Home for their free brochure on pre-planning.
All right, I want to thank our guest, Ron Hill from the Finnish American Society, talking about their upcoming Christmas party on the 16th at the Ishpeming Elks. You're invited. Rick Aho was here from the Mqt County Solid Waste Management Authority, and our friend Jerry Mills. Thanks for joining us, and before we go, let's get one more from Jerry. It's called Change.
It all started with a question I asked myself one time. It wasn't an easy question, so it weighed upon my mind. Living in this world full of troubles feels so strange. What is it that I can do to help this world change? How can I change this world? How can I change this world? How can I change this world? I didn't know the answer the first time that I asked, but I knew I had to find it, so I set out on that task. I learned about injustice, intolerance, and human rights. And what I learned I'd like to share with each of you tonight. How can I change this world? How can I change this world? How can I change this world? I can change myself, I can change my thoughts, I can change my feelings, I can change my actions, I can change my words, I can change my attitude, I can change my life, I can change, I can change. I'll be the change I wish to see. When change occurs inside of me, I'll be the change I wish to see. When change occurs inside of me, I am the change I wish to see. When change occurs inside of me, I am the change. I am the change. I am the change.